Captain, welcome to Stowe Better's Elite TFO training. Today's operation is Hive Onslaught. Let's review objectives.
The first objective of this TFO is to defeat the Queen's Guards, a mixed force of Borg cubes, tactical cubes, and spheres. Your team must complete this objective in under 10 minutes on Elite, and the overall mission must be completed in under 25 minutes. You must also keep one player alive at all times, with an optional objective of losing no player ships. Once the initial force is defeated, 2 Borg dreadnoughts will warp in. Defeat both vessels while keeping at least 2 players alive. Lastly, engage the Queen's command vessel. Once the Borg Queen's ship is destroyed, you will be prompted to scan for escape pods. If you're flying this mission for rewards, press F to scan and complete the TFO. Privately formed groups seeking to use this TFO for DPS testing can leave the map at this point without scanning, which will yield no mark or dilithium rewards, but also does not put the TFO on the standard 30-minute cooldown.
Thank you. On to risks and rewards. This TFO needs substantial coordination and team composition to play well on Elite, and the threat level is high due to the large number of Borg vessels in the opening group, as well as the Borg's Queen ship, which has a number of potent abilities, most notably Feedback Pulse. This TFO awards a moderate amount of Omega or Fleet Marks, along with a chance for Enchained Current Pieces. Lastly, this operation can be very short with a well-built team composition at 2 minutes or less, which is one of the reasons that this operation is used for DPS benchmark testing. The adversaries on this operation are Borg. Borg vessels have a powerful shield drain ability, so encounters with them need to account for low shield uptime. Additionally, energy builds must be aware that the Borg dreadnoughts have a chance of using Feedback Pulse, which deals damage to the player ship based on how much damage you're outputting. An Elite capable energy build can easily destroy itself. Even more dangerous is the Queen's ship, which uses a more potent version of Feedback Pulse. Your Science Bridge officer will inform you when she is about to use it, or you can watch for the blue Delta buff icon on her ship. Aceton Field is another one of the Queen's abilities. It can cause significant damage to ships within 5 kilometers based on the number of energy attacks the Queen has received. Lastly, the Queen can also use Confuse abilities on player ships, causing them to turn on one another temporarily. Having a well-built tank is basically essential on this map if avoiding player deaths and completing all optionals is desired. The tank will draw fire for the rest of the team while they work together to clear the Queen's guards. This is especially important for DPS testing, as most DPS builds cannot destroy the Borg quickly or efficiently while handling incoming fire from that many Borg vessels. If energy builds are part of the team composition and a deathless or DPS chasing run is desired, it is highly recommended to bring a Science Career Captain as part of the team's composition. The Science Captain's subnucleonic beam is a guaranteed reliable way to clear the Queen's Feedback Pulse, and your bridge officer again will inform you when she is activating it. At the start of the encounter, target one of the central tactical cubes rather than the ones on the edge of the formation so that AoE abilities will strike as many Borg ships as possible. Having a strong gravity well to clump all the Borg ships together is also highly desirable. After fighting the initial group, moving south, as shown on the minimap, should allow players to methodically move their way through the Borg formation. If the team composition is primarily single target builds, care should be taken not to leave straggling cubes or spheres behind. The goal should be not to turn around. After the initial encounter, player vessels should be facing toward Dreadnought Vessel 2 if all Borg ships were eliminated without turning around in the first phase. Vessel 2 should thus be the focus, then Vessel 1 of 2, and then finally the Queen. Now, combat footage will be shown to illustrate the principles discussed previously. The goal of this section is not to illustrate perfect piloting, but provide an example of how to successfully complete the map with all objectives and without dying.
Cannon scatter volley builds blend the positional challenge of single target builds with the benefit of FAW builds. CSV allows multiple targets to be hit at the same time, but requires these targets to be centered within a cone. Activating Emergency Power 2 subsystem abilities at the start will allow you to have both buffs up when entering combat. To get the proper positioning to start the combat encounter, you will want to go to full impulse within the last few seconds of the briefing, giving you a speed boost without losing too much power in the other subsystems. Tilt your ship up as you fly forward to move to the next position. From here, point your ship down with the top tactical cube being your center target. This allows you to reach nearly all targets of the Hive swarm. This method works especially well here when paired with a large radius gravity well. As you can see from the footage, once the tactical cube disintegrates, all targets that are affected by the gravity well jump to the middle of your targeted cone, meaning less positioning is needed. Beware the bright lights from explosions, as this can cause disorientation. Moving too much when this many targets die can also cause you to be hit by their warp cores exploding. Once the initial wave of target perishes, the remaining cubes need to be dealt with. Observe your surroundings before moving into the Hive, as these targets can easily be forgotten behind you outside of your targeting cone.
When the Queen's Guards are defeated, ending the first stage, a cutscene will play. It can be skipped by holding Escape on PC or the equivalent operation on console.
During the second phase, you will only be able to target one of the two Borg dreadnoughts due to your firing arc. A coordinated team will want to target the same dreadnought, so decide beforehand or make a call out. Aim towards the rear of the vessel to target any torpedoes or ships the dreadnought will spawn. As the dreadnought you've targeted drops into the 10% health range, make a quick turn to engage the other dreadnought. At this time, ensure that you have placed yourself towards the start of the map relative to the Queen, as this is where her flanking position is. Warning, the remaining dreadnought can also activate feedback pulse. Once both dreadnoughts are destroyed, the Queen's immunity will fall, allowing your team to make a quick takedown. Do not stray too close to the Queen, as her aceton field can decimate your own hull just as fast. Bringing along shield offlines will greatly expedite this process.
Captain, if this breakdown helped you in your quest to play Stowe better, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel. The link to the specific build used for this tutorial is in the description. For more guides and builds, check us out at www.stobetter.com.